I think we're too far away from the camera.
Do we need to scoot closer?
I think we should scoot closer.
We could move the camera closer.
You want to pick the milk jug up and move it? It's like having a milk jug, woman. Okay, let's see if we can move it more closer. Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling very up close.
Very up close. I kind of like this because my chair rocks. Does your chair rock?
It does not rock. Don't rock. That will be like
Because
seriously
I
annoying.
rock. So I get the chair that rocks.
Whatever.
How's it going, guys? We are building an audience. Hey, Miss Marcy and David Doan. How's it going, bro? Kathy. Hey, Miss Kathy. Mississippi showing up. Oklahoma showing up. Nice.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Married like a champ. Here we go. The question of the night. Can we fight?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we can, and we're good at it, too.
So we're going to move the chairs. And we're
Hey, Miss Angie. Awesome. We're going to move the chairs, and we're going to throw down. Bop, 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 bop. Not really. Okay, guys, so can we fight? So, Glenn, you said you had something to get us kicked off. Did you have something?
Yeah.
Did you really have something?
I did.
Did you really have something? She touched my nose.
I have this
All right,
story.
woman.
Okay, so quit. I had the story. Okay, so there was this couple that they were married for 60 years.
Not us yet.
And they had, like, everything was completely open, and with them they had, open lines of communication, but there was this one box that the wife kept in her closet, and the husband was absolutely not supposed to touch this box. He was supposed to stay away from it. And then she was actually on her deathbed, and the husband, with her permission, opened up the box, and he found a crochet doll and $95,000 in cash. And he was
I like that deal.
Right?
I like
and he
that
was
deal.
like, okay, what's up with this? And she said, well, my mom taught me, she told me whenever we got married that if, that to never argue, and that if I got mad about something, that to just go and to be quiet and just crochet a doll. And he thought, I'm pretty awesome, because
there was only one
doll
in the
box.
Nice.
And he said, there's only one doll. You mean you've only been been mad at me one time in our whole 60-year marriage? And she said, oh, no. The $95,000 is the money that I made selling the dolls.
So apparently they could fight.
Yeah.
They could fight, right?
They could have fought, but she just chose to sit back and
she made dolls and then sold them.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's a funny story, and it kind of makes you laugh, and you kind of go, man, that'd be kind of cool if I don't have a box in my closet of $95,000 in cash and a crochet doll. I
thought the punchline of this story was you were going to say, honey, I got a box of money waiting. I'd be like, whoa, nice.
But the thing is, now, I mean, who's going to sit back and just like sit there in the corner and crochet a doll instead of butting heads, whenever, because we're humans, we're not going to be always agreeable on everything. So, yeah.
We're not?
No.
I'm always agreeable, honey. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Agreeable.
You're supposed to start laughing. We're laughing together.
Oh, we're laughing together.
Yes, we're laughing together.
You sense the sarcasm in my laugh? All right, guys. So, here it is. Can we fight? And what is the answer? The answer is yes, we can fight. A couple of things. So when we fight, and it doesn't mean, people are always like jacking with us, like, man, I hate to be at your house when the throwdown happens. It's like, that stuff doesn't happen.
No.
But do we disagree? Absolutely. Do we kind of butt heads at times? Absolutely. So when we fight, here's the key. If we're fighting and not getting a resolve, there's going to be trouble. So if you can't resolve the fight, that's when there's a problem. Fighting is actually kind of healthy sometimes. And again, not throwdown fighting, but just discourse, disagreement.
They say that if you have 3 people or 4 people in the same room, like in the business world, if you have 5 people in the room that all agree, then there's no need for 4 of them. If they all agree with you, you're not going to grow unless you have somebody that's willing to say, hey, I see it a little bit different, or
right.
I see this perspective, and that's part of that. That can be the disagreement. The disagreement doesn't necessarily have to be that you've had this knockdown, drag out fight. It's just that you go, actually, that's cool that you see it that way, but I actually see it completely different.
Right. And here's the thing. If Glenn comes to me and says, I disagree, I don't feel threatened by that.
Right.
And I think that's key.
It's not like I win, you win.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I know that our oneness, our relationship is way bigger than her disagreeing with me about something. And I don't really feel threatened. And many times I think whenever there's a fight, there's disagreement. It does help growth for both parties. That can be true. But if you don't come to a resolve to the fight, I think that's when things fester.
And there's bitterness and resentment.
Bitterness, resentment, defensiveness, and defensiveness, believe it or not, is like a kind of a telltale sign of problems to come.
Right.
Because if I come in and I say, honey, I feel this way, and all of a sudden you go, I don't want to hear it. It's your fault. I don't want to hear this from you. That's defensiveness, and that means that we're headed towards trouble.
We seriously need to talk.
So here's the thing. Just some hacks, some things to think about is, I can sometimes go to bed mad, but go to bed mad still knowing I absolutely love you.
Because I think that's something that whenever we were first married, never go to bed mad. You know what? There's times that straight up, I'm still mad, and it's time to go to bed. And you too. Oh, shut up. You too. I'm talking, where it's like...
I go to bed, mad almost every night. Every time I come home and there's not a sandwich made on the table waiting for me, I'm hot. I go to bed.
You better go to bed now.
That's every night of my life. Dang it.
Because, this is the thing.
Jazz said, my girl just waits till I go to sleep for the beatdown to happen.
That's right.
I believe it, man. If you can incline bench press nearly 300 pounds, Chaz, I saw that, you hoss.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. That's disgusting, by the way. She waits till you go to sleep and then clanks you. I get it. Right. Good for her. Smart move. So anyway.
But no, that was one of the things that I think was given to us as advice, and I honestly want to say maybe advice from people that aren't still together, and we are, but anyway, not that was like the end-all be-all advice, right. But anyway, there are going to be times that you do go to bed and you're mad, but it's not like you still love each other. It's not, absolutely. I go to bed and I don't like you anymore.
Never call each other names, never threaten to call it quits either. Your words are worse than... Yeah, absolutely, Angie. I'm sorry 100%. I can't see the whole comment, but...
Absolutely.
So true, man. Yep. I've never... I think... I've never come in and said, you witch, you treated me wrong, and we've had knockdown dragouts at different times, but it's never physical, and...
but there's things that you just don't say that, it's like, right. No, I'm not going to say that.
Think about this, guys. So... She and I, 26 years, we're one person, and me being, mad at her is like me being mad at myself. Can that happen? Dang right. I get mad at myself all the time. I made a commitment that I came up a little short on. I'm pissed off at myself because I didn't get that done. And, but I resolve it. I resolve it. I finish the commitment late. I do whatever I have to do to resolve it. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, the other thing is because you're one, you also know what wound will cut the deepest, and you can't pull that card.
Guys,
you can't pull that. That does nothing.
I've been guilty of pulling that in the past. Hey, remember when? Bad news, and we've had to learn the hard way. I've had to learn the hard way by, seeing the tears and having to go, oh, I'm sorry I did that. That was awful.
But I think that's another piece of that is, when you do, when you, okay, because there's going to be times that one person is wrong. One person does do something, and whenever you're the one that's in the wrong, just own it. Just own it and say you're sorry. It's not a big deal. And the thing is, then you move on. And the thing is, the number 2 hack is know that you're on. You're on the same team. You're baby. Together. Your ultimate same goal team. Is for the best for each other and the best for you as a couple. And whenever you're on the same team, the disagreements, they're going to happen, but It's okay.
So. I'm always wrong though. Nice, Nick. And that's a great way to look at it. Let's just real quick. Thinking in terms of business or martial arts schools. I have a student that quits. Don't blame them.
Right.
What did I do wrong? I'm always wrong. What did I do? How did I not communicate well enough? What did I not teach them? How did I not serve them in a way they need to be served?
It's just a way to own it.
It's kind of a way to own it. And that's beautiful. Good stuff, Mr. Nick. So remember, you're on the same team. At the end of the day, we're on the same team. It's okay to get mad at each other. It's okay to have discourse, a fight. But solve it, and don't let defensiveness... Don't let it fester and become painful.
And then pull out stuff from 10 years ago that, like, you've moved past.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Leave it
Remember back
past.
whenever you were... You know, it's like, oh, good grief. Can we please let that rest? That needs to
Learn
go...
from it,
yeah.
but leave it.
But
Learn
leave
from
it.
it and leave
Absolutely.
it. So, number 3, talk about it. And probably the biggest key in the world is this. And I'm going to put myself on the spot, but I think if Glenann is really mad at me or upset about something I've done... do you feel comfortable not confronting me, but sitting down and going, look, you said this and hurt my feelings. I didn't like that. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
And I am too. We rarely have those issues, but I think it's super important that you have a relationship, and really think deep on this, guys. Have a relationship that you put your defenses down, and when your spouse comes to you and says, I'm hurt, open your freaking ears up and listen. Don't get defensive. Don't point fingers. Just think, where was I in that? And how did I affect that? What did I do? And hear their perspective, you know, and so the big word is communication. Communication is the lack of communication is the root of war.
Right.
Period. It's the root of war at home too.
And
so,
you know, if you need to, you know, sometimes in that moment is not necessarily the time to have that discussion. Sometimes it's one of the two has to say, you know what, I just can't talk about this right now, and you know, move on. There's
right.
If it's not necessarily you're not going and crocheting a doll and forgetting it, but you are saying right now I might say something that I will absolutely regret, and I need to cool off a little bit. It's that we call it the 24-hour rule. Wait 24 hours. It's kind of like, you know, you get one of those anonymous emails, and you want to just go back, you know, just type out some sort of crazy rant, and you type it all out, and then you go, do I want to hit send? And you pause, and tomorrow you go, yeah, I'm really glad I didn't send that. And so you delete it. You got it. You know, it's kind of that you got it off your chest because you can think about it. You know, go to sleep on it. And this is the thing. You know, there's something about, you know, you have a problem, you have something that you're pondering, you know, what to do, you go to sleep on it, and your brain there's some book that talks about this. I can't even remember which book it is that we've read that talks about how your brain processes, okay, this is what I need to do to help to solve this, to figure this out, to resolve this, and you wake up so much clearer the next morning, and then you can go and talk about it.
Many times you wake up with a resolve, and I personally think...
I do it all the time.
I think maybe that's kind of God working through us saying, okay, son, here's some thoughts for you while you sleep. It's kind of
why you have the best ideas in the shower, because you're not thinking about what's made you mad or whatever. You're thinking, you're showering your hair and you're going, oh, that's what I need to do. And so then, you know, if you are going to talk about it, a good thing to do is to actually go to, let's just go get something to eat. Let's go out to eat. Let's go do something away from, you don't have kids distracting you. You don't have dogs and chickens and, all
we got dogs and chickens.
All the craziness. You just go and you say, let's eat. And then you put your dang phones down and you sit across from each other.
Do you post about it on social media?
No. No, you don't post. I'm having so much trouble with I'm having trouble with, I just don't know if I've lost that love and feeling. Oh my gosh. Don't do that on Facebook. Especially if your husband is your friend.
Don't do it anywhere, man. Yeah. Don't be reaching out to your friends to give you a hug.
Your Facebook friends who tomorrow will be slamming you because of your political beliefs or what, I mean, come on. No,
so, guys, great conversation tonight. Remember, I think big keys: communicate.
Yes.
We beat that up, but it's just a timeless truth that you just can't get away from. And by the way, I think it's John Maxwell that talks a lot about. He keeps a notepad by his bed. He wakes up in the middle of the night having a thought. He jots that down, goes back to sleep. And you go, I believe it's him, and some of his material talks about going to sleep thinking, pondering maybe an issue he's struggling with, and waking up with thoughts. So just some things to think about. But remember, if you fight, that's okay. Solve the fight. Solve the fight. And sometimes for me, I step out of my shoes and I think if someone else was talking to my wife the way I'm thinking about talking to her, or the way I've said something to her, how would I feel? And when I tell myself I'd probably want to pull their head off.
Choke them.
Oh my gosh.
Same thing.
Why am I doing this to her? Why would I do that? Right. So what are your litmus tests? Sometimes step out of your shoes and just think, if someone else said this to my spouse, how would I feel about them? And if you're okay with it, maybe you just need to rethink, things. If you're having really bad thoughts and you're okay with someone else having those thoughts, that's a problem, right? So anyway, think on it. And then probably the last hack is pray about it. Yeah, ask for guidance, ask for help, ask God, what is it you're trying to help me to learn out of this discourse, out of this disagreement? What perspective are you trying to help me to see that she has that I don't? And try to grab a hold of that, because probably if your marriage is right and you're in the right place, there's a lesson there, right? And so don't undervalue the lesson. Awesome.
Okay. Awesome job.
Nice work, guys.
Nice.
Married like a champ.
Appreciate all the comments.
Yeah, I saw California, Mississippi, Oklahoma. I saw a lot of different places. You guys check in with us. Let us know where you're from. If you got questions or thoughts, prayer is always good. Right. Awesome.
Yeah, and don't let prayer be like the last chance, the last choice. It's kind of like that. I think that's something that ends up happening, is it's like at a last resort, the prayer, and that it shouldn't be your last
As a matter
resort.
of fact, I'm horrible at this, a little embarrassed about it, but pray together. We don't do that probably enough ourselves, and that's my fault. I should lead that and have a prayer together, because I have find that when I do pray with someone that I care about, the things that I say in that prayer, I think sometimes is good for them to hear, if that makes sense, because we speak really, I think we speak truth in our prayers.
We speak life into each other.
And so with that said, just communicate, 24-hour rule, cool down, resolve the fight, don't let it fester, and go make it awesome, man. Remember, you didn't get into this marriage for it to be easy. It's not. It's not going to be easy, ever. There's nothing in your life worth anything that's easy. So,
last thought, love is not an emotion, it's an action. Take action. Love each other.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys every night. Hey, Angie, it's every Wednesday night, but I appreciate that. You guys do us a favor and share them out there. Go be married like a champ. We love you guys. Take care.